Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, Concord, Massachusetts. Um, the place is huge. I mean, it's acre after acre after acre. But for my interest, I'm interested in Author's Ridge. And the great thing about this cemetery is that there are direction markers here for such thing. Okay, Author's Ridge is the burial site of Hawthorne, Emerson, Thoreau, and they are just opposite. Okay, they are on the ridge over there that you can see from where I'm standing. Okay, they are opposite from where I'm standing and where I am headed to, Author's Ridge. Okay, but first we must make a stop to a man I learned about from my time in Concord, Daniel Chester French. Never heard of him, but do like his work, both here at the Concord Library, with the sitting figure of Emerson in the main room of the Concord Library here. And I also like his sitting figure of Abraham Lincoln in the Lincoln Memorial in the mall in Washington, D.C. So we are going to head over to Charles French's gravesite first, and then to Author's Ridge, and pay our respects to transcendentalists. So we're going to get high on Author's Ridge. Hold on. All right, a little further down the road now. We are at the footsteps to the Charles French gravesite. Now, it is, the weather's beginning to thaw the ice and snow here, so I have to be careful. The reason I'm here is because, you know, the weather is starting to thaw the ice and snow, but I thought it would be more thawed out than this. All right, and here at the top of the steps is the gravesite. I don't know if I can even do it. It's too compacted. But there is the gravesite of the sculptor who sculpted the great Emerson and the great Lincoln, I might add, while we're mentioning him here. Concordian, I believe, too. And he's got a lovely view, not only from behind, but he's also got a lovely view in front of him. All right. All right. Now let's head to that hill there and see the Author's Ridge. All right, we are at the foot of Author's Ridge, and as you see, the obstacles have grown greater here. There are no steps here. It's all straight, smooth, like walk up there. Now, what's really interesting is you got this handrail here on the right. which reminds me of, as we go up to the ridge, Stone Mountain, Georgia, and climbing Stone Mountain. The last, 100 feet or so up Stone Mountain is so steep that you must hold onto the handrail. So, I'm reminded of that today, not because of the steepness of the slope here, the grade here of the slope, but because of the ice on the ground, and that, I need the handrail to make sure, my body and camera remain intact as we mount the ridge here, the authors in the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. All right, and around we go. All right. Okay. This is the ridge. Now, I don't know with French's grave what is going to be able to be seen, but I'll cover it in G+ if necessary. Well, you turn the corner and look what you got here in Hudler Ridge. The Thoreau family. The Thoreau lot. Okay. Whole family is buried here. Henry, very modest, simple spot. Okay. Henry David Thoreau. Okay, and on we go. Across the way, catty corner, is the Hawthorne family, or a number of the families, a number of members of the family. Hawthorne. Okay. Now, I don't know which is Nathaniel's. I tend to believe that back row there are the Hawthorns. Nathaniel on the left, his wife in the center, and then Una, which was the model for Pearl, and Scarlet Letter on the right. What this is, I don't know. But you have to remember, we're talking 200, 300 years since all this has passed. So, okay, and you got 2 other family members there. So, it's hard to say, it's a lot of time and a lot of passage, and a small town that has gone through changes, okay? And catty corner to the Hawthorns, and right next to the Thoreaus is the Alcott family. All right, there you go. The Alcott family, and there you have the gravestones of the Alcotts. Now again here, I'm kind of at a loss because this says you have the dates here, 1888, which is when Louisa May Alcott died, the author of Little Women. But you have also in the back behind her a stone for May Alcott or something like that, with a veteran star, which, perplexes me. So I don't quite know what's going on here with the Alcott plot too. But those are the Alcotts, okay? Up here on Hudler Ridge, one of the oldest parts, obviously, of the cemetery here. And here at the resting place is the the wife and husband, the founders of Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. Okay, that's his stone. That's their stone there. Again, the snow kind of, makes things a little bit difficult, but I'll cover it on G plus if I have to. But there is the stones of the founders of Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. Okay, it was the third cemetery in the town of Concord. It was not the first, was not the second. The first was the old hill burying ground, and then the south burying ground, I believe, and then Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. Okay, further on down the ridge, up here on the ridge, I should say, and hopefully without killing myself or the camera. We come to the last family of many pioneering family here in Concord. His grandfather built the manse, was the first pastor, if I'm using the right term, at the first parish church in the center of town. And his name is all over the place. He stayed at the manse for a while with his grandfather, and as did Hawthorne, until he moved, he and his wife, to the Bush, or the Emerson home, what became the Ralph Waldo Emerson home, right across from the Concord Museum today. And there is the Emerson family. Lydian on the left, his wife, Ralph Waldo in the center, the granite, and then Ellen Tucker, the daughter of Ralph Waldo Emerson there. Okay. If you've seen that sort of shape before, it echoes the First World War monument down in the center of town, across from the first parish. It has an inscription in it by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And here, his stone in granite, marble. I would go marble. Yeah, I would go marble, not bronze, like I would assume the World War I marker is. But here in marble is the tomb of Ralph Waldo Emerson, who many believe sort of transformed American literature and the thinking of people and themselves and writers and the world in which we live and how we see ourselves and how we see others and how we are all one, and that eventually we will go back, to one and return to the earth from where we came. Hudler Ridge here, Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, with the legends of Sleepy Hollow, Concord, Massachusetts.